Welcome to the Hocking Railroad. It's February 16th, 2020. Daytona 500's running in the background. Just thought I'd take a video of the train layout as it stands right now. It's forever changing, always adding new structures, cars, trains, features. Just wanted to let you see what we have going right now. I have a couple of neon signs. There's a Budweiser sign on top of this structure right here. Guess this light is really throwing a reflection on it. Train layout has two ovals. They're approximately 130 feet long all the way around. Makes a 180-degree turn here at this end of the room, and at this point it enters the Sandpiper Lounge. This bridge goes over top of the bar. It goes over top of the Sandpiper Lounge. This bridge goes over top of the bar. In scale foot, this bridge is 700 feet long. Its actual length is 8 feet. It's 250 pieces of hardwood that I made for this bridge. It's free span, there are no supports. Runs all the way to this end. There are lights on it. I think you can see those in the video. At this time the train runs all the way down to the other end of the room. That's 60 feet away. Makes a 180-degree turn and runs back this side. So there's a full lap. There's two ovals up there on this shelf. So this is just a tablet with an app on it, the MTH app. I can go to the main menu. I can select all the engines. I have 5 engines, active engines on the layout right now. They're all in the shutdown mode. If I pick the GE diesel, which is that, and I hit the startup, this engine starts up. This particular menu shows all the options, different sounds. It has to start up before it's in an extended startup phase right now. You can hear it winding up. That sound is coming from the engine, not from the tablet. Still starting up and winding up. You can hear everything coming up to speed. There you go. Now she's ready to go. Go back to the controls. I can make this engine start moving now. You can hear the brakes working. You can hear the engine changing its RPMs. Those flashing green lights are called charging lights. Those are real lights on the engine, on the real engine. I forget what that engine's even called. I think it's an SD44, something to that effect. I'm only running at 10 miles per hour scale speed. If I speed this up to 20, you may be able to hear the engine actually, the noise, the sound effects of the engine actually speed up. This is a hodgepodge of cars that I have following this train. There are some really old cars on here. Everything here is metal wheels with sprung trucks. It's just an assortment of cars that I've picked up over the years that are kind of rare, kind of weird, not often seen. That yellow car that's just moving out of sight right now is a metal Varney car. The Western Pacific is a wooden car. The pacemaker that's going by is an all-metal car. The two Gerber cars are very vintage. And the caboose at the very end is a brass caboose. It's painted, but it's undecorated. These are two Alcoa PA A and B units. Both these units actually smoke. They blow like a simulated diesel exhaust out the top. There you can see that smoke coming out the top. So this Alcoa has 12 passenger cars on it. There are a total of 144 wheels turning right now on this car, on this train, the way it's moving. Next train coming into view is an MTH, of course. I believe it's a Challenger. It's a 2664. I've changed the road name on it. It used to be a Chesapeake in Ohio. This particular train is pulling 53 cars behind it. This thing is an animal. I've pulled 80 cars at a time with it. Works really well. There, with the 53 cars, including the engine wheels, there are 456 wheels that are turning on this train as it goes by. Of course, this thing smokes. It has great sound. I've actually got the sound turned down. The Doppler effect on this is really something else. Now I'm only chugging along at 10 miles an hour. I'll speed it up a little bit. So it'll take a while for 53 cars to roll on by. All those coal tenders, those are all Athearn cars. And then you roll into all of the PRR Keystone logo cars. These are all Don't Stand Me Still box cars. Well, the first half of them are. And then after that, you just run into another, I believe there's 43 of these box cars with PRR logos on them. Say most of these cars, to the best of my knowledge, have metal wheels on them, and probably at least half of these cars have sprung trucks. It takes a little while for this thing to get by. So you have to figure with each oval is approximately 2 miles, 2.1 miles in length. I have an inner and an outer. So there's 4 miles worth of track here, and I'm running over a mile, almost 2 miles worth of train cars. This train coming into view right now is a Pennsylvania K4. Of course, it does have smoke. I call it the Dairyman car because it has all Dairyman box cars behind it. There are 18 Dairyman box cars, including the engine wheels. There's 164 wheels on this train rolling right now. A lot of detail to this. These are just Tyco box cars. They got horn hook couplers on them. I have all metal wheels on them. I don't risk backing this thing up, but it pulls around just fine. Runs through all the switches fine. I haven't had a derailment for a long time with this train. Of course, that caboose is lit, and it does have a little red beacon light on the back of it. It's the old faithful train right there. Alright, so I think this is an SD44 engine. It's the newest GE engine out there. Those are called charging lights that are flashing along the bottom. I'm running at 10 mile-an-hour scale right now. Let this crawl by in front of the camera. This train has 20 cars behind it, including the engine wheels. There are 182 wheels turning right now. I'll follow this around a little bit. This engine makes great sound as we go across the bridge. I'll sound the crossing signal. You can see the ditch lights are flashing, alternating back and forth. It's a hodgepodge of cars behind this thing. They're all unusual, weird cars that I don't see too often that I've hung on to. They are all metal wheels. They are all sprung trucks. Each one of them has a kind of a unique story. But for instance, coming into view right behind the Sandpiper sign right now, the yellow car, that's a Varney car. It's all metal. It's kind of unusual. The 2 silver cars right behind it, the Centennial and the Western Pacific, those are wooden cars. The yellow car's hand-built. The Pacemaker car is a metal car. The Gerber cars are from 2 different vintages. One's wooden, one's metal. Just weird. And of course the last is the caboose, which is a brass caboose that is painted but undecorated. Kind of unique. The engine coming into view now is another Pennsylvania K4. Of course, it does have smoke. A lot of detail. Gorgeous. I call this the Bicentennial train. The reason that I call it the Bicentennial is because it's pulling 15 Bicentennial cars. They're all Athearn. They all have metal wheels on them. Some really nice cars.